Another wild afternoon on Sunday in Sydney at the Dunlop Sydney 500. We have our three podium winners and joined by guests from each of the relevant teams. Broc Feeney, the winner today here on Sunday with, I'm told, 2001 karting champion Tom Wilson. Second place being Matty Payne with Brenton Grove alongside him, and Tifford Racing's Cam Waters and Matty Roberts. Broc, 2 for 3 on the weekend. Last night didn't go to plan for you guys, but you definitely put the stamp on it this afternoon. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, stoked. I mean, yeah, 2 out of 3 wins this weekend's fantastic. Obviously, after the huge switch to Ford this season, so just a huge credit to the team to get us into a position to, to fight for 2 wins. And to be honest, yesterday was still a really solid day. We had a bit of weather on our shootout lap, which put us at the back, and then a 15-second penalty sort of took us out of the fight for a podium. So overall, really solid weekend. We're getting better and better. I think we made a huge jump with the car today. I think in those first couple of stints was really able to sort of drive away from the rest of the field. So stoked, obviously fantastic start to the relationship with Ford, and yeah, pretty solid weekend.
Absolutely. We talked about the conditions all weekend, what it would be inside the car for you guys, and of course when you got out of the car, you looked pretty cooked. Tell us about just the mission to drive a car around here in those conditions and in the heat.
Yeah, obviously it was a pretty hot day today. Just had a couple of cool suit issues as well, a bit of cooling issues inside the car. So yeah, it was tough. Obviously when things aren't cooling as well as they should be, then you drink a lot of water, and then I ran out of water. So it was a pretty tough sort of end to it. I think without the safety car and all that, it would have been okay. I would have been able to just try and manage the gap, but with Kai, he was doing such a good job. Obviously got in front of me in that weather and then was able to get him back, but had him hot on my heels. So I was pushing super hard amongst all the stuff that we had going on. I mean, I was overheating. The car was overheating thanks to some bloke's 24-pack of water. Anyway, we got that out, and yeah, it felt like at the start nothing was really going right for us except for we had a fast race car. But yeah, as I said, to walk away with another win, that was certainly the hardest race I've had inside a car.
Certainly looked like it. We talked last night about having one Penrite car behind you on a restart, and then the other one there, as you touched on there with Kai. Can you just walk us through side by side in the wet, slick tires? That was some great motorsport.
Yeah, it was good. I don't really know if there's a better racing category in the world right now, like terms of door-to-door hard racing. Obviously see a lot of F1 drivers complaining about they can't pass and that, and then you got us, a couple of young kids going side by side in the wet on slicks at turn 1. That was a ballsy move from him, and he pulled it off, and we had a lot of fun. We were banging doors for a while there. I'd make a mistake, he got me, and then he made a mistake and I got him back, and then he was all over me in that before he had the issue. So yeah, it was a fun race. I mean, I think the racing this weekend's been pretty awesome, so looking forward to it for the rest of the season.
Excellent, congratulations. I think questions will come to Tom shortly, I have no doubts, but I'll go over to Matty Payne first. Second place today, 2 podiums out of 3 races. Happy assessment, tied with this man next year in points for the weekend. So good start to 2026.
Yeah, really good start for us. Nice consistent results over the weekend. Pretty bittersweet for our team today. Kai did a really good job, as Broc touched on. They raced really well, and I was sort of, after all the safety car chaos, I could just sort of sit there and watch them. They were both really fast, so they ended up pulling away from me. But yeah, a bit of a shame. He obviously had that mechanical, which would have been really cool to have another double podium with him, and would have been great points for the team. But unfortunately, yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. But luckily, we could put another Penrite car up there.
Not the first time you've seen 2 cars going door to door for the lead when you were in third. Do you have any flashbacks to Bathurst when you were on that restart?
No, I was trying to keep the thing on the track, so it was pretty dicey. Those 2 were very ballsy heading into turn 1 side by side, but Kai's pretty aggressive. He did really well, and there was also that action out of turn 4 and going into 5, and Brody and Will looked like they were sort of having their own moment, and Anton got caught up in it, and luckily I could just go to the inside and try and avoid that. So yeah, there was still a lot going on. I felt pretty good about trying to get through the field and in the wet, and felt like we had a pretty speedy car when it was sort of raining a little bit, but yeah, just didn't quite have the pace at the end to stay with these guys.
Very impressive from Kai this weekend, particularly today. It looks like Grove Racing has that 1-2 punch. Does that fill you with confidence as a team that you guys can be doing this quite a lot this year?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we were both there in the 10 today in qualifying, and he did a really good job with his shootout lap. I probably didn't quite maximise that enough, and you know, he was there when I wasn't, you know, up the front. So it's great to have two cars that have been really fast over this weekend. It's been nice if, you know, I just didn't quite have the race pace today, and so we'll look at that. But he obviously had a really fast car, so good data point to go off there. But yeah, he's doing a killer job, and hopefully we can truck on like we're doing rest of the year.
Very good job. Congratulations. And third place, Cam Waters today. We rolled out a qualifier, and the qualifying checkered flag came down. You were down in the 20s. Did you think you'd be holding a trophy at the end of this day?
No, I did not think that, Mitch.
Very succinct. Thank you very much. But crazy chaos all the way throughout. So, I mean, to climb 17 spots through the wet, through the dry, through the heat. But you were up 10 spots or something like that in the first few laps. I mean, tell us, that first march through was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I just had an amazing start. All the first 3 laps was amazing. Just ended up in all the right spots, and everyone was in all the wrong spots, and just kept picking them off. So I think, you know, there was 8 spots, I think, after 3 laps, which was awesome. And just from that point, tried to look after the tyres a little bit. But yeah, still picked a few more off. So yeah, that was great. Really set up our race, and then I was pretty excited when it started raining as well. So yeah, it was a cool race and great for the team. Obviously, we qualified terrible, and you know, really thought about what we did good and bad across the weekend and what went wrong in qualifying. And we had a fairly fast car in that race. Probably not quick enough to win it, but it was yeah, massive turnaround.
Not the shining weekend, of course, you had last year, but finishing on a strong note. You guys are right there in the thick of it. I think this is 1, 2, 3 in the championship as well coming out of the weekend. Tickford's top of the team's points table too, so still a very solid way to start off your season.
Yeah, it's still a great way to start the year. Obviously, I would have preferred a repeat of last year again, but saying that, I think we've learned a hell of a lot this weekend, which is great. We can use all that in the next few rounds, where last year we probably thought we were better than what we actually were. So it's a very different way to start the year for us, but you know, we're still right up there. I think we understand our car a lot more now, which is great.
Spraying champagne's always a good thing, so congratulations. I'll open it up to journalists in the room. I want to prioritize questions to Broc if we have any. He has some live news commitments after this. Go for it, Colin.
Just for Tom, just an update on Will. He didn't look in a particularly good way after the race.
No, both drivers are pretty cooked, and so we had 2 cool suit failures. Well, we're not really sure whether it was a cool suit failure or certainly on Broc's the cool suit was working, but it wasn't doing its job. So it may have been in the suit itself rather than the system. So, but Will, yeah, he's hot. He's gone to see the medics just to make sure he's okay. But I'm sure he'll come around and be fine.
And just from your side of, I guess, the business, I mean, how's sort of being back in the Ford camp, for Triple Eight from your particular expertise?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. They've been very welcoming, obviously, and there's a lot of work that's gone on over the off season, and you know, to come here and have Mark Rushbrook and Scott Bartlett from the US over to see us compete and to get a couple of wins was very rewarding for everyone, but I think also for them, showing their commitment to us to make the change. So yeah, it's been nothing but positives, to be honest. We had a great relationship, obviously, for 16 years, but yeah, there's a lot of opportunity now with Ford, which we're hugely excited about, and yeah, we'll see some more stuff coming through as we head into the Grand Prix, with some activations and so on. So there's some good stuff coming, and that's going to carry on for the next few months.
Ooh.
That was a bit juicy. Question for all 3 of you. How tempting was it to switch to wets when the rain started falling? Were you concerned by how dark those clouds were? And for the engineers in here, was that a temptation to take a gamble on wets?
I don't know, like, probably not really. I mean, obviously, the guys here can see the radar. It obviously looked pretty dark, but from what I was hearing, we're only going to get the edges of it. It never got wet enough where you needed a wet. Like, I think our slowest lap was like a 36, so I think the crossover's around a 39 or something like that. So we were still a fair way away. these new wet tyres, they're so good that if the track's a tiny little bit dry, you'll destroy them. So it's got to be pretty wet now. But I mean, maybe if you're at the back, you take a gamble. But I didn't think, from what I heard, it wasn't going to last long.
And did the safety car complicate that at all? Like, obviously, if you're racing, you're going to stay out there until you can't. But did the safety car and temperatures dropping, did that change your thinking at all?
It probably does. Like, that's probably what I mean. Maybe if you're having a really bad day, you could gamble on the wets under safety car and hope that everyone had to pit again. But I think for us, it never got to the point where you thought about putting wet. Oh, you're obviously thinking about it, but it was never really there that we're going to do this.
Sorry, I've got to go back to Tom lobbing the grenade. So can we expect Broc to drive an F1 car or one of the Red Bull guys to get in a supercar at AGP?
Broc's already done that.
Yeah.
No, that's not what's happening. We've done that one. We don't like to do the same thing twice, so yeah, you'll have to wait and see.
Reserve driver for the weekend. Okay.
I think we've made it nice and easy for you guys. Congratulations, well done. Sunday done at the Dunlop Sydney 500. We'll see you at the Australian Grand Prix.